Imagine my surprise when I learned that it was Latinos that put this man into office.
Oh, you can't just blame Latino voters. Like, yes, the fuck I can. And I say that with my immigrant-ass passport, okay? Yeah.
As a Latino, I've never been more embarrassed and more disappointed in the Latin community for even voting or thinking of voting for Trump.
And who supports them? Who goes back to them again and again? It's not just the men, girl. I wish I could say it was.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel where we dive into all things real and raw. Today we are flipping the script and reacting to something very, very big. Guys, you won't believe what we found out. Are we riding with the community, or is there some major surprise in store? Let's see what you guys are saying and see how it's shaking things up. Vamos! Guys, as you've seen everywhere and as you've seen on the internet, there are a lot of videos of Hispanic people who are reacting to their fellows how they voted in the 2024 election. So people are reacting differently. Others are very angry, like most men, are the one who voted for Donald Trump. So we're gonna go through those videos and then see what the Hispanic people are reacting to, and then I'll give my commentary. So let's dive into these videos.
I can't believe that the Latinos voted for Trump. I can. I believe it 100%. Girl, y'all have to stop acting like it is just Cubans that are racist and conservative in the Latino community. Coming from a Colombian girl. Look at the politics of Colombia. Yes, I know our president is like more left-leaning this time and very progressive. But girl, look at the politics and the history. Look at their stances on abortion. I know she's decriminalized. However, that just means that you can't go to jail if you get an abortion, okay? Or if you're a doctor that conducts an abortion. That does not fucking mean that it is socially accepted. Turn on Telemundo. You tell me how many people of color you see on Telemundo. You tell me how many brown and black people you see on that show. Tell me if they're casting. Turn on Caracol. Tell me how many people of color you see on there. Like, I don't want to hear it that we're this progressive community. We're not. So yeah, I 100% believe it. And for all of these freaking people who are Latinos that voted for Trump, I'm gonna hold your hands when I say this. He doesn't like you. He never liked you. And he's never gonna respect you. And if y'all weren't born here, he's gonna try and find a way to get you deported. So, congratulations for looking stupid.
Oh, you can't just blame Latino voters. Like, yes, the fuck I can. And I say that with my immigrant-ass passport, okay? Yes, you can blame the campaign. Yes, you can blame the party. But at the end of the day, there's this little thing called personal accountability. In 2016, I was a little bit more lenient because, okay, people just don't know. They don't understand the consequences. But we lived through that presidency. What I'm hearing now, even from immigrants, undocumented immigrants, because yes, if you have TPS, if you had DACA, you're still undocumented under federal law. Oh, it wasn't that bad under Trump. Oh, Trump's not gonna do anything. Oh, he didn't do anything last time. Oh, yes, he didn't. He tried. The only thing that stopped him was a full resistance movement that filed lawsuits for every single one of his executive orders. What really gets me is that a lot of people who have undocumented family or themselves are undocumented will ultimately need the help of other people who told y'all, don't let this man back in office. Relying on people like myself who have been doing immigration advocacy for years, it generally makes me not want to do this shit anymore. Like next year, a lot of us are going to be helping people that couldn't even help themselves by voting for their best interest. Where gas really going to be cheap? In fucking Mexico. Yeah, it is.
Imagine my surprise when I learned that it was Latinos that put this man into office. I was 4 years old when I was first asked to stand before an immigration official and explain why I deserved to go to the United States. I was 4. I was 9 when a Border Patrol agent woke me up by shouting in my face so close I could feel his breath, pointing a flashlight in my face, asking me if I spoke English. I was 11 when SB 1070 first passed in Arizona, and I was terrified that I would be targeted or my loved ones would be targeted because we might look Hispanic. I was 13 when a shoddy immigration lawyer gave my family bad advice and permanently separated us. I was 15 when a boy from school was violently stalking and threatening me, and I couldn't go to the police because I was undocumented. I never even told my parents. They still don't know. I just moved schools. I was 18 when I decided I wanted to become an immigration attorney so that no family would ever have to go through something like this ever again. And for the last 8 years, I've worked in immigration, advocating for immigrant rights and fair and reasonable immigration law and policy. So imagine my surprise when I learned that it was Latinos that put this man into office. The community that I've been fighting for and the people that were supposed to be fighting alongside me would rather aspire to whiteness than to reform an organization that has been dehumanizing and villainizing and abusing our community for the last 30 years. I have no words today. I'm just rethinking my whole ass life. I hope that you are doing okay and making some space for your mental health. Mañana será otro día y la lucha sigue.
As a Latino, I've never been more embarrassed and more disappointed in the Latin community for even voting or thinking of voting for Trump. Voting against your own self-interest is counterproductive. It's insane to me. Like, y'all don't make no sense. What's not clicking? And let's be very serious. Latinos voted for Trump because they want to be as close to whiteness as possible. It's because they are anti-black. It's because of the internalized racism. It's because of the pure not even internalized. It's for the outward racism. That's really mainly what it was. And let's not forget the misogyny of it all. Let's not forget that, because one thing a Latina woman is gonna do is gonna put her man, her son, and any male figure in the Latin community up on a pedestal with ease. And that's exactly what the Latino men thrive on. The women always putting them up on a pedestal. And that's really the sad part about it, because there is no reason why they should have been voting for Trump at all. I'm disappointed today, and I'm just so disappointed.
And who supports them? Who goes back to them again and again? It's not just the men, girl. I wish I could say it was.
I am genuinely curious, if you identify as a Latino and you voted for Trump, can you tell me what was the specific factor in that decision? And curious to know if you are first gen. And I don't want this to turn into a heated debate discussion in the comments. I'm from California, and I do live in my California bubble where everyone predominantly votes Democrat. And I'm just curious, like, I want to understand, like, I want to know, especially because this is my community and I want to understand.
60% of Latinos voted for Trump in this election. And to think that my vote was going towards protecting my people. The fact that I was absolutely horrified at the thought of Trump becoming president because of the effects that it will have on our people. I voted for those Latinos that don't have a voice in this country. For the Latinos that are the backbone of this country and don't receive shit. I voted for the Latinos that have been nothing but good people in this country, paying taxes and have no criminal records. Only to find out that it's our own people turning against us. I am truly disgusted.
If you're Latino and voted for Trump, here are some whitening product recommendations so you can be very white by the time he comes to office. Pond's Clarent Cream, very affordable and cute packaging, to be honest. Pond's is a household name in Latino culture, so you probably have this already. Bleaching cream that works for intimate areas. Not only your face can be white, also your coochie and your a-hole. So when we all get detained to be deported, you can tell them that every inch of your body is white. Vitamin C and retinol soap. So when you're in the shower, being delusional, thinking about all the promises that Trump made, you can keep dreaming and scrub away the color at the same time. All these are gonna work extremely fast, so make sure to have some sunscreen to protect your new skin. They will also help to hide the nopal en la cara que tienes. I promise you that they work, even though I have no idea if they work or not. I love believing in false promises, so this won't be an issue for you.
If you're a Latino man and voting for Trump, just know that Goku will be very disappointed in you.
I'm just gonna say it. If you're a fellow Latino or especially a Puerto Rican who's voting for Trump, I think you're a complete sellout. You're not only selling out our country, but you're selling out our people, our community, our Latinas. And let me tell you why specifically I'm pointing out Puerto Ricans. As a fellow Boricua, let's forget a moment that Mark Anthony just recently talked about when he was our president, visited Puerto Rico after Hurricane Maria, threw paper towels and denied us billions of dollars in relief while many of us died, calling our land disgusting. What I'm referring to us, Puerto Ricans specifically, we have something unique that many other Latinos don't in this country. We get to stand in our own privilege of being U.S. citizens, where we never have to worry about being deported. But many of us who grew up in Latino communities, who came here to fight to be here, who have children here, because in our community, everybody's a tia and tío and cousin. If Trump becomes president and you're gonna know somebody, a neighbor, who's gonna have their kids separated from their mothers and their fathers, that's important too. We always forget about the dads. And if you don't know anybody directly, trust me, there are people in healthcare, construction, agriculture, so many farmers, so many Latinos come here and they do the job that many people would never do for the price that they get. Here in New York City, in our restaurants, so many of them are our chefs, our sous chefs, our servers, our bartenders, our barbacks, but they do it because they work hard and they see the value. It feels like they're literally the backbone of our economy right now. Those voting for a man who don't care about this struggle is a betrayal to all these people working in our country. Supporting Trump is turning a blind eye to all the damage he has caused our people. When he's talking about mass deportation, he's not talking about Canadians, he's not talking about Europeans. It's all Latinos because they're all murderers, criminals, and rapists. You're one of those few Latinos that made it into some serious money, so you want a tax break, or you're just a Latino that's misinformed. Whichever it is, you voting for him, you're a sellout. And if you're not gonna do it for yourself, do it for the children and do it for our Latinas, our mothers, the women. Don't get me started on the reproductive rights.
There's this organizing principle that says, meet people where they are, and if you love them, don't leave them there. But how can I love you when you don't even love yourself?
Hey y'all, I've already seen a mass amount of people blaming all Latinos for the Trumpian win, particularly those that voted in Florida and Pennsylvania, but I want y'all to know that Mexican people demographically do not typically vote for Republicans. It is actually typically Cubans and other Central Americans. This is courtesy of Pew Research Center. As you can see here, Cubans typically are the ones who vote for the GOP, and Mexican people typically tend to vote for the Democratic Party. This is because Cubans live in a country that is heavily sanctioned by the United States, and as a result, it is very impoverished. But the Cubans who migrate here are under the impression that the reason that their country is in shambles is because of socialism. So they fundamentally oppose any policies that are beneficial to the general public because they are afraid of communist policy. And it's important to get specific because there are many different ethnic groups inside of the Latino community, and that includes Black people. There are Haitians who are Latinos, and don't y'all forget.
Done voting, voted for Theo Trump. Yes, Latinos are voting for Trump. I voted in the past for him, and I'll continue to vote for him. We need a better nation. And I know so many people are going to get their feathers ruffled. Don't care.
To the Latinos for Trump crowd who voted Republican this year, I am very confused. Trump wants to get rid of birthright citizenship, meaning that if you were born in this country, but your parents were not, especially if they were undocumented, you no longer have citizenship. Hello? What? Why would any of us want that?
Why did so many Latinos vote for Trump? Many Latinos have a fantasy heritage, and the US is a perfect place to entertain those fantasies given its history of white supremacy. Fantasy heritage is a term coined by Dr. Frank Perez at University of Texas, El Paso. And as Paula Ramos writes in her book, it's the idea that when the situation calls for it, many Latinos can prioritize their whiteness and erase the specificity of their indigeneity. Proximity to whiteness leads to the erasure of indigeneity. This is one of my favorite quotes. The delusions of fantasy heritage can easily morph any semblance of indigeneity and darkness into whiteness, thus turning Latinos into the ultimate conquistador. It is much easier to embrace fantasy heritage than to deal with the complicated, violent, and messy past that we have with race. So just like Don Quixote, we believe we're a noble conquistador instead of someone fighting our own mind.
I saw exit polls showing that Trump won a solid majority of Hispanic men in America, 54% according to the Washington Post's exit poll, which is probably the best exit poll you're going to find. And although exit polls have their limitations, blah, blah, but actually winning Hispanic men in the country. That makes you think about the Republican opposition, fear of immigration. Like, who's coming over? It's Hispanic men. Now, of course, it's their kids will be able to vote, and half of them will be women, blah, blah, blah. But, like, this sort of fear of Hispanic men is this invading army, military-age men. Like, you just won those military-age men, bruh. Like, that's who voted for you. And, like, that was the big shift. In fact, Harris won more white vote, a larger percent of the white vote than Biden did. It was the big shifts among Hispanic, and to a smaller degree, black votes, and of course Asian votes, but they're a smaller number. But the Hispanic vote was the big shift. It was Hispanic men won this for Trump. Despite, and like Puerto Ricans shifted massively to Trump despite like the stupid comedian who called it a garbage island.
Why would a Mexican vote for Trump? A lot of people seem to forget how conservative, protective of children, and family-oriented Mexicans are. I thought I was liberal until I came to California. I didn't even know I was conservative until I started living in California. There is no way in this world that I will vote for a party that says that a man with a wig, a dress, and makeup is a woman, and that he should be included in women's spaces and sports, and that little girls and teenage girls have to accept little boys or teenage boys with their penises in their locker rooms, in their bathrooms, unsupervised, because they are the same. And also, you can have all the abortions you want, but only women can have an abortion. And let me tell you something, you will never be the same after having an abortion. Some women look at it as fun and, so progressive. It's actually, all of this is actually a setback. So before being a Latina, I am a woman and a Bible believer. So hardcore that you couldn't pay me to vote blue. Even if Trump would take away my citizenship, I would give it away. That's how committed I am to my values. And that's how protective I am of children and women as well.
The mainstream media is coming down on us Latinos. Woo! They are mad that we voted for Trump. Let's get into why we did this, because the media doesn't seem to understand. And they're talking a lot of smack about us Latinos. So let's break it down. You see Sonny from The View and your ilk. Latinos come in all different kinds. Honey, there are Latinos who just arrived here like 5 years ago. There are Latinos who arrived here 50 years ago. There are Latinos like me who are second generation American born. I'm 53 years old, Generation X. So the more Latinos assimilate to the American way of life, and the more we succeed in it, the less tolerance we are going to have for illegals who are just handed crap by the government. See how it works? Think of the people who came from Cuba. They fled communism. Think of the people who may have fled from socialist countries. They came to America, and the last thing they want is anything that resembles what they fled from. And a huge group of Latin Americans understand and know of socialism, communism, and how it destroys a country. And so they then tell that story to their children and their children's children, and on and on and on it goes. And then those kids come here and they grow up and they create a great life. And just because their last name might end in a vowel doesn't mean that they automatically have to be afraid of being kicked out by Donald Trump. Donald Trump wants the best and brightest of the world to come to this country and kick ass and be prosperous. The people who are coming in here illegal through the past administration were coming here to destroy our country, and we've had it. And so us Latinos voted red. The end.
For all Hispanics, Latinos, and Mexicans that voted for Donald J. Trump, this message is for you. I'm so proud and honored that we made our voices heard. that no matter how many insults the Democratic Party threw at us, or how many Hollywood stars they threw at us, or how many fake promises they threw at us, the Hispanic, Latinos, and Mexicans voted for life, defending the unborn, voted for Christian principles. We never denied God like Judas. We stood by him. We voted with a Christian conscience and said yes to life, yes to Christian principles, yes to children of God and their innocence. And blessed are the peacemakers, that we voted for peace and not war. So for now on, we will live with that God saw our vote. God bless the United States of America and everyone that voted for Trump.
Because I've been thinking a lot about this, and I know it's going to be controversial, but I'm actually rooting for Latinas and Latinos who voted for Trump. I really am. I really hope that they get everything that they voted for, and I hope that they never forget who they voted for. So when they're waving goodbye to their undocumented partner because they got deported back, I want them to remember who they voted for. When their abuelita needs life-saving care, but there is no Medicaid because it's been slashed to the bone, I want them to remember who they voted for. When they watch their nieces and nephews struggle because birthright citizenship is gone and all of a sudden their family isn't welcome, I want them to remember who they voted for. When they have a child with special needs but there's no funding, no resources, no Department of Education, I want them to remember who they voted for. When all of a sudden their family's neighborhood is targeted with more policing instead of community support, I want them to remember who they voted for. When there's no money for your family but a whole bunch for billionaires, I want them to remember who they voted for. When environmental protections vanish and the air is so disgustingly polluted that their kids develop asthma or something similar, I want them to remember who they voted for. When discrimination increases and they are harassed incessantly because they will never be white, I want them to remember who they voted for. Call me petty, but sometimes getting exactly what you voted for is the only way to understand it.
I'm Ecuadorian, and this is why Latinos are going to vote for Trump. And woke Americans are going to say, oh, you're betraying your own people. I'm Ecuadorian, not illegal. So many Latinos that are going to vote for Trump immigrated to the United States legally, or their parents did, or their grandparents legally immigrated here. And do you know how hard and difficult the legal process is? You have to get an actual visa to live here, not just one of those tourist visas you can overstay on. You have to always be in status, and then you have to get a green card, which takes forever, and then a few years after that you get citizenship. Why the absolute fuck would I want some illegal alien who crossed the border illegally and skipped the entire line to get a visa, or someone who got a tourist visa and decided to overstay several years or decades to be giving just a free pass by a senile old man? Those illegal aliens, they skipped in front of millions of legal immigrants. And the woke Americans will say, oh, they just want a better life. Everyone on earth wants a better life. If you can't get a visa to the United States, get a visa to one of the other 195 countries. Every single country on earth has a visa policy to keep out the people they don't want. Those people could be dangerous. Those people could be criminals. Those people could be just people that won't contribute. Don't break my country's laws by illegally entering my country or overstaying your tourist visa and then play the victim card. So why the hell would I vote for Joe Biden, who wants to devalue all the work that legal immigrants did by just giving status to a ton of illegal aliens?
Mark my words, history repeats itself. This is what happened. We had Ellis Island, an influx of immigrants who then got scapegoat and used to justify a bad economy and an inflated stock market, which then crashed, caused the Great Depression. And the only way we got out of the Great Depression was with a world war and with a bunch of government programs. We just finished phase 1 of that same playbook.
So I see a lot of people who are like, I can't believe 60% of Latinos voted for Trump. Do they want to be deported? Why would they vote for somebody who supports mass deportation? Let's apply some logical and critical thinking skills here. If somebody voted, unless they voted illegally, they are a U.S. citizen, meaning they are here legally. So mass deportation does not directly affect that person because they're not subject to deportation. Now, some of you might be like, well, Trump can still like strip them of their citizenship, and he also wants to get rid of birthright citizenship, so immigrants should all be scared. First of all, it's not that easy to strip somebody of citizenship. Usually people are stripped of citizenship if it's found out that they got their citizenship by fraud or misrepresentation. And even then, the government has to want to go after you for it. And then secondly, there's provisions in the law that might still allow the government to not strip you. They could choose to let you keep it. And for birthright citizenship, if you are already here and you were born here and you are a U.S. citizen, they are not going to take away your citizenship if you already got your citizenship by being born here. Because in the United States, there's a prohibition against ex post facto laws. What is an ex post facto law? An ex post facto law is when you pass a law to make something illegal or increase punishments for something that was legal when it happened. So if you got your citizenship through being born here, it was legal for you to get your citizenship by being born here. So the government cannot pass a law today and say, everybody who was born here before this date is now here illegally, because that's an ex post facto law, and it's prohibited by Article 1, Section 9 of the Constitution and Article 1, Section 10. So they would have to amend the Constitution to even be able to do that. And so many people would be subject, I think even Trump himself, maybe? No, not Trump. Yeah, there's a lot of people who are birthright citizens. They would not, no. Oh, and also birthright citizenship is granted through the Constitution. So they would also have to amend the Constitution first to get rid of birthright citizenship.
All right, guys, you've seen the videos. Yeah, people are angry. People are very, I don't know how I can say that. So that is what trending on the streets, you know. Everyone is pointing fingers to each other. So Latino men, they voted in full. They voted for TP, yes. So people are saying that the one who gave president, yeah, Latino men. So mostly Latino women, they are very angry. Hispanic women are very, very angry. So Hispanic people, they came in full force. Yes. They came in full force for TP. And now they are ranting. Now they are shouting. Now they are angry for each other. You know, let me tell you, everyone has a right to vote. Yes. Whether you agree or you don't agree, everyone has a right to vote and has a right to choose who to vote. It means whoever who voted has the right to vote, has the right to choose. So why do Latino people, Hispanic people, like want to, you know, to condemn others, mostly men, because they voted for TP, like Latino women, Hispanic women, they are condemning their men because they voted for TP. Okay? But those men have the right to vote, has the right to choose. You know? So when, before election, have you ever had like a meeting together and decide who to vote? Because everyone doesn't have equal, like everyone doesn't have same interest. There are people who are happy for Trump, and the others who are happy for Kamala. That's why they voted. Yes, you may come from the same race, you may come from the same countries, but you don't have the same dialect. Even if you speak the same language, you don't have the same dialect. So there's no reason for you to condemn the men who voted for Trump. Another point is, those people who voted, they are legally citizens of America. I don't believe you can vote when you're not a citizen of America. I don't know. But they are real citizens. You know, their votes are counted. So, yes, there are going to be mass deportation, like as people are talking about it. But these people, they're not gonna feeling it. It's very hard, like, to take someone citizenship. Yes, it's okay. Trump have said, yes, have said, but these people, they don't feel pressure. You know, they don't feel pressure of being like getting deported. Those guys have been in the US for long. You know, like the videos we watched. So, you know, that's why they decide. Those are their choices, because they saw what Trump has and they saw what Kamala had. So they had to choose, like the way you choose. So I don't see any reason. I don't see any reason for you to come out and say, you know, these guys, they have done these things to us. They should have done this. No. You yourself, you should have done that. And he should have done that, because you don't know, you don't have the same direction. Yes, you are Latinos, you are Hispanic, it's okay. But you don't have the same direction. That's why for him he chose this, and for you chose that. That's how life is. We only have choices. So you choose this and he chose that. And these things is not only in Hispanic people, even Asians, they're like that. They are condemning each other. You voted this, and you guys, you voted that. Yes, they have rights to do it. They have rights to vote. Whether the consequences are gonna coming, whether they are not coming, they have the rights. So they have used their rights. You don't have to come out and say, you know, you guys, you have done this to us. You guys, you have, you know, except if you had plans before. Before election, you had plans like, okay, we're going to vote for this. So if you had plans like that, it will be another issue. But as I've seen, there's no such plan. You know, everyone has to choose for itself. Like the way you chose what to eat, the way you chose what to put on, the way you chose where to go, the way you chose the work you want to do. So that's why you're going to choose who is going to be your president. So I don't see any reason for you guys to come out and say this to your men, because they have their rights. It's their rights. They have used their rights to vote. Yeah, you may not be happy. You may not be. You may be saying much things you've seen on internet, like even on these videos. But remember one thing, we don't think the same, and we are not the same people. You know, even if we came from one country, or we speak same language, we are not the same. We are different. For those who believe in God, God have created us differently. So whoever choose blue, whoever choose red, is their choice. Like other videos I've seen where people are hating each other because of voting. That's not right. That's not right. People are losing friends because of voting, which is not good. No, you cannot support that. You cannot support that. All right, guys, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. Please don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video.